Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2022, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. My name is Tim Zunker, and I'm the president with the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our hope is that these candidate interviews and profiles will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2022 elections. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to make casting your vote a priority. Please visit the Shakopee Chamber website at shakopee.org to find out more information about the upcoming election. And now I'd like to introduce Kristi Peterson, who is running again for Shakopee School Board. Kristi, thank you for joining us today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Tim. Well, first, I'd like to thank the Shakopee Chamber for hosting this event. It's very important that all the candidates have an opportunity to present themselves to the citizens of Shakopee as they make informed decisions as we approach November 8th and Election Day. As Tim said, my name is Kristi Peterson. I've lived in Shakopee since 1999. My husband, Sean, and I have a son who is a current senior at Shakopee High School. I have an undergraduate degree, a BA in Communications and Journalism from Augustana University in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and also a master's in Business Communication from St. Thomas University, or the University of St. Thomas in Minneapolis. Over the past 15 years, I have been a leader in marketing functions at a couple of different national manufacturing companies where I utilize my skills as a marketing and communications professional. I've been very active in the community since I've lived in Shakopee. I've been involved and president of the Girls Fast Pitch Association here in Shakopee. I've also served on the board of directors for the Shakopee Education Endowment Foundation, which a lot of people refer to it as SEEF. And I was also involved in the referendum design for the expansion of the high school several years ago. And then when that successfully was passed, was part of the design committee that helped design the fine arts and communications wing at the high school. In 2018, I successfully ran for Shakopee School Board after being encouraged by many community members to be on the school board. And during that time in 2020, I was appointed to serve on the Minnesota School Board Association Board of Directors representing Director District 13, which encompasses a lot of the school districts in Scott County for representation at the state level.
Great. Thank you, Kristi. So what inspired you to run again for school board?
Well, I did a lot of reflecting. And when I look back to where the school district was in 2018, to where we are today, a lot has changed, and am honored to say that I had a part in helping the school district turn the corner and start having a brighter future than where we were in 2018. You know, I think one of the things that as a school board member that I'm really proud of is that we all did what we said we were going to do, and that was bring financial stability to the district. We were open and transparent with our financials, and we were better communicators with the school district. You know, when I joined the school board, I learned that there was an intense learning curve in regards to being a school board member, learning about how policies are made, governance, and just learning about what the needs of our students were, as well as our community members. So after all of that and all of the time that was spent learning, I decided that I was going to run for re-election because I really felt strongly that while we have turned the corner as a school district and we have a lot of positive momentum moving into the future, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And I feel that with everything that I've learned and have been a great team member on the school board, that we need that consistent voice to help lead us and carry us forward as a school district. And while we still have a lot of challenges, like I said, the work is far from being done. Obviously, testing scores is an opportunity, a challenge that we need to face head on. The financial stability, how do we maintain that? And then how do we as a school district welcome students and make them feel like they are part of our community and that they are somebody unique within our schools.
Great. Thank you, Kristi. We've seen the graduation rate for Shakopee High School stay above the state average. What can the Shakopee School District do to not only maintain this level, but exceed it?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we need to keep doing what we're doing. Obviously, we're doing a lot of great things in our schools to ensure that our students are graduating and are successful as they embark on whether it's a career, going right into the workforce or right to college to learn a profession. I really think that there are a few things that contribute to that success and having a high graduation rate. One of them being the AVID program that we have in our schools. That is a program that basically is a career and college prep program, really geared toward the students that are kind of middle academic wise, and maybe some of the students that are unrepresented in our community, and allows them to gain the tools, the confidence, to know that they can succeed and they can be successful when they graduate from high school, regardless if they're going to college or right into the workforce. So I really think that program is really strong in our district. We've had it for a while, and I think that is one of the contributing factors. Another one is our Young Scholars program at the elementary level. And that program is really geared towards students that are, again, underrepresented, that might need a little bit help to gain to find out what their potential is and that they have potential, and to nurture them to become successful as they continue to move through our school system. I also think that obviously with the diversity within our school, our cultural liaisons play a huge part in breaking down the language barriers that our students face. And if we can do that and break down those barriers for those students, they are going to be more successful because they have an understanding and we have an understanding of what they need as well. And then lastly, I believe that the academies of Shakopee is a huge factor into our graduation rates and why they're so high. This is the 5th year, I believe, for the Shakopee academies, and we are starting to see a trend where students and families are coming to our district because they want to be part of the academies. And so that's a trend that we need to watch. We're just starting to see that now, and we hope that trend will continue, but it's something that we will keep a very close eye on.
Great, thank you. According to Minnesota's North Star Accountability System, we have seen the number of students meeting standards in math, reading, and science drop from pre-pandemic numbers. What can the Shakopee School District do to bring those numbers back to pre-pandemic levels?
It's a great question. It's something that's on the mind of a lot of people. And actually, this is one of our 3 strategic priorities for our school board and our district is student achievement. I think it's important to note that while there is a decline in our testing scores in Shakopee, there's also the same decline across the state. So this is just not a Shakopee issue. This is a statewide issue. While the results are pretty clear, our numbers have dropped. But when you look at what we just went through with a global pandemic, anytime that you have a major disruption to learning, as well as having underfunded schools, it's going to have a negative impact on our students' learning. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. It's very unfortunate that Shakopee was in a little bit of a unique situation than other districts, where during this same time period, we also cut $7.5 million out of our budget. So at a time where students needed more help and they needed more resources, we couldn't give that to them because we were taking things away. So we were not helping our students at all because of that. So it was actually the complete opposite of what you normally would see. We've offered additional programs at our schools to start helping with these skills and trying to bring people up to grade level. One of them it's called MTSS, which is a multi-tier support system. And an example of that program is Connect and Assess. This is done at the elementary schools before school starts. And this is an opportunity for our teachers to meet with families and students one-on-one to get to know them a little bit better and do some assessments to see exactly where is that student that's going to be in my classroom. And at the end of the day, once they've met with all their students, they know exactly within this support system that we have where they need help. And so it gives the teacher a better opportunity to be educate students in their classroom the way that they need to be educated, so somebody doesn't fall behind, and making sure that students that might need a little bit more help get those resources and get those tools to help them be successful. You know, another program that the district has offered is, and it was, we did a lot of it this summer, was the credit recovery. And that allowed students to gain credits for classes that they might have struggled in to help them stay on track for graduation. Again, going back to the graduation rates of making sure that they maintain that positive path to graduation, and that they graduate on time.
Great. Thank you, Kristi.
Yep.
In 2021, voters approved an operating levy for the Shakopee School District. If reelected, what are your priorities regarding the school district's budget?
Well, again, this is another strategic priority for our school district and our school board, and that's to maintain financial stability. We have a policy within our district that says that we should be at 8 to 12% of what we actually spend. That's what should be in our unassigned fund balance. We just need to continue to be good stewards of the dollars that we receive from our community. If we budget a certain dollar amount, we can't spend more than that. So if somebody gives me $1, we can't spend $2. We have to hold that line in order for our district to maintain that stability. We've worked really hard to look at, over the past 4 years, a lot of expenses. Where are we spending money? And we made between $3 and $4 million in permanent budget cuts over the past 4 years that are not going to come back. They are positions or programs that we feel that are not needed in our district, that don't have a direct impact on the classroom. And we've really set kind of a goal of a ratio of 85-15, where we're spending 85% of the money that we receive directly on our students, directly to the classroom, whether that's some of the programs that I just talked about, additional teachers, activities and clubs for students to make sure that they have a feeling that they belong and have a sense of pride and confidence as they go through our school system. My biggest concern with our budget is state funding. Our state funding is very inconsistent from the state, and we never know when we're budgeting what the state is going to give us on a per pupil formula. So that is probably my biggest concern. You know, since 2003, the state has not kept up with inflation. If they would have kept up with that inflation, Shakopee schools would be receiving an additional $1,200 per pupil on the state formula to keep up with those expenses. And when you times that by 8,000 students, that's a lot of money that we're missing. So when you think about, you get a 2% increase annually from the state, and you look at what inflation is right now, our costs are exceeding what we're taking in from the state. And I know everybody has that situation as well with their jobs and their pay. But if I'm reelected, I will continue to advocate that we continue to get the funding that is needed for our schools in order for all of our students to be successful. I've spent a lot of time over the past 2 years specifically advocating for all of our students in the state of Minnesota in regards to special education. That is really a big shortfall that we have. It's a federal program. It's a federal mandate that we have to offer special education in our schools. And they promised when this mandate went into effect that they would cover 40% of those costs. Today, they're only covering between 14 and 15%. That leaves Shakopee schools alone with a $9 million shortfall, and that money has to come out of the general fund, which would be money geared toward other programs that directly impact the classroom. So I will continue to do that and continue to work with our Minnesota constituents that are in Washington, D.C., as well as our state leaders and education committee members in both the Senate and the House to ensure that they know that our state funding for special ed, the cross-subsidy, needs to be fully funded. We were very, very close with this past legislative session. And I think the last deal that was left on the table would have provided Shakopee schools with an additional, I think it was $3.2 million worth of cross-subsidy for special education. And we all know where where that was left. We didn't get anything. So continuing to be an advocate for fully funded school lunches is also extremely important to our budget. And obviously the additional dollars on the formula to keep up with inflation. Those are all factors that go into our budgeting and make sure that we stay financially stable and sustainable into the future.
Great. Thank you, Kristi. And as a current school board member, what do you feel the board has done well? If reelected, do you see any opportunities for improvement?
This is a great question because, again, as I reflected on whether I was going to run for reelection or not, I thought about all the things that our board has done since 2018 when we were elected. I would argue that the past 4 years have been some of the toughest times in our school district that our school board has had to face for various reasons. I think that we've all done a very good job of learning. I think that our school board works very well together. Our current school board is very diverse, meaning we have all kinds of backgrounds from different industries, and we all bring something a little bit different to the table. And while we don't always agree, we do come to the table and vote our conscience. And when we leave that board table, we support the decisions that were made, regardless if we agreed with them or not. And I think that's really powerful. Some of the things that I already mentioned that we've done really well is we did what we said we were going to do. We have brought financial stability to our school district. We have been very transparent. Our financials are available to anybody in our community every month. It's presented at our board meeting, and everything that's presented at our board meeting is a public document and is available on our website. We've been very transparent with that and open. Anytime someone wants to see it, our director of finance is more than willing to visit with them and share whatever information they're looking for. And I think we've been better communicators with our community as well. I think that going back to the school board working well together, I think that was also part of the communication concerns that we had. So we've spent a lot of time on not only communicating with each other and establishing that relationship with each other and getting to know each other, but we also spent a lot of time engaging with our community as well, and that's not something that's been done in the past either. I think one of the biggest things that we've done, and the fruits of labor are yet to be seen with it, but we've added 2 students to our school board, so we now have 2 student voices on our board, and we have plans in place to expand that into the high school and middle school levels to have a student cabinet where students can come if they have concerns and bring them to our representatives, who will then bring them to the school board to talk about what we can do to meet our students' needs. Opportunities for improvement, there's always opportunity for improvement with everything we do. We've been far from perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't have been in the financial situation that we were in the district. But I think we need to continue finding ways to keep our teachers. Our teachers are amazing. Our community is very supportive of our teachers here in Shakopee. So we need to make sure that we continue to find ways to keep them. Obviously, our test scores, we need to find ways to close the achievement gap in our district. And I think one of the things that's really going to rise to the top over the next few years is teacher shortage and our substitute shortages and the impact that it's going to have on the future and our economy in the future. If we don't have teachers educating our students, it will impact our economy and our community in Shakopee. So I think those are all not maybe necessarily opportunity for improvements, but I think those are opportunities and challenges that the school board will be facing over the next 4 years.
Great. Thank you, Kristi. Now I'd like to give you the opportunity to give your closing statement and message to the voters.
Sure. So over the past 4 years, I have worked tirelessly to ensure that our school is in a much better place financially, and that we've openly communicated that to our school community here in Shakopee. I would ask for your vote on November 8th. I have worked tirelessly the past 4 years, and I will continue to work tirelessly for our students and to ensure that our district continues to move in the right direction, and that we have positive momentum in our school district for many years to come. Thank you. I would ask for your vote on November 8th.
Thank you, Kristi. And again, the views expressed in these interviews are those of the candidates, not those of the Chamber and Visitors Bureau. The Chamber is sponsoring these events as a service to the community and has gone to great lengths to ensure the objectivity. The Chamber does not endorse any candidate, but seeks to provide you, the citizens and voters of Shakopee, with the information you need to make an informed choice. The Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau extends a sincere thank you to the candidates. We appreciate your time and service to our community by running for office. You are performing an important service to us all.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for joining us for this edition of Meet the Candidates 2022. Please join us September 29th at River Valley Church for our candidate forum. Please visit the Shakopee Chamber website at shakopee.org for more information. Thank you. Thank you, Kristi.
Thank you, Tim.